Okay, so you have a PF-2 printer from Microboards. You're having trouble with the discs falling and entering the printing area. Well, first take the cover off. If you notice, just take all the screws out. Don't forget those top ones and the bottom ones. And don't forget this connector inside. That's for the sensor for the ink cartridges. Now when you open the case and you take those screws out, watch you don't pull too hard on the cover, because you do have a harness of wires and they're very small. So first what you need to do is take this circuit board off the side so it'll gain access to the screws underneath. Right there, I already took them out. And this whole unit, and on both sides of course. And then of course this whole unit is going to lift right off. That'll gain you access to this other black item. Take the screws out of the sides, because that's the guide that's causing it to hang up in the first place, and you'll see that in a minute. Take those screws out, save them to one side. You can see in place where it's grabbing, it's going to be just about at that point. That's when you're having that problem. You have to take this out. Look at the guides underneath, and the guides have been made a little too tight for today's discs. And it's easy to tell. All you have to do is just place an older disc in there, and you're going to find that it slides through. You take one of the newer discs and you can see it just hangs there. If it hangs, that means of course that passage is just a little bit too small. Here's one of the older discs, and you're going to find right away. Place it there and you don't feel any resistance whatsoever. You go to lift it up and it will just simply fall through. That's the way it's got to be with some of the newer discs also. Once again, you place that on there, and you got to make sure it's flat, otherwise you're not going to get a good indicator of it. Take a small file and just file the guides just to make it a little bit wider. Remember, you can't add material later, so be very careful. Make sure you get it all the way down, clean that track right out. When you install it, make sure you keep pulling up on that guide. Otherwise, it's going to be a little low and it'll touch the top of the disc, stopping the disc from advancing. If you find that you can't get it high enough, you might have to drill those holes out a little on the side to give you a little bit more wiggle room. Putting the cover back on is a little tricky. I find that putting the front on first, then teeter the back. Be very careful, because you don't want to break the switch, the cover switch. It has to go through the little hole underneath the cover. So be very careful. Then of course put the wire back on for the ink cartridges, and you should be all set to go. Now your PF-2 should work.